It was, hang on, April, May, June of 2014. It was at this club called Flux. If you don't know about Flux, you'll never know about Flux. Because it's a club that you never expect to actually be there. My first rave down here in Florida, it was a little different. It was EDC. It was great and it was absolutely magical. There wasn't the same. There wasn't the same sense of actual togetherness, I guess. And everybody down here seems to wish for the underground scene to come back, and the mainstream scene is almost non-existent.
It was Rave to the Grave about a year and a half ago. And it was at the Oklahoma City Farmers Market building. It was very small and very, very much local. I didn't know anybody there, didn't know what was going on. It was just kind of a thrown into type of thing.
Senior year, senior trip, my buddy Zach and I took a trip down to Rockdale, Texas for Nocturnal Festival back when it was on Apache Pass. It was crazy. $1 million party. Everybody had a good time. It was handicap accessible too, which was crazy to see at a festival. They had like raised VIP areas, and we went full VIP. So it was really intense, to say the least. Bass Nectar played. Pendulum played. It was a really just very rewarding show.
Back in Oklahoma, I would always be finding people who were wearing candy, who knew what raves really were. There was this whole group of people that I had that were great friends, and they ended up becoming my family for the short time that I was there. It was, honestly, it's something that I've never had before. I knew that without a doubt I could call literally any one of these people in this giant group at 2 a.m. if I was stranded somewhere, and I knew they would come get me, or they would find a way to find me. Over here in Florida, I don't see anything like that. I don't see any people trying to find a group, and if there is a group, it's very elitist almost, and they don't let you in.
At first it was a little weird. I didn't know anybody. I just kind of sat in the corner. But then, once I found a couple of songs I knew, I got into the flow of being comfortable. Everyone was very welcoming. And they started talking about candy, and then I saw people spinning poi. It was this whole other world I hadn't really seen, I'd step outside to have a cigarette and talk to different people I'd never met, and they're just really nice, interesting people. I mean, the way that the subculture has influenced me to keep going is it's full of a lot of outsiders and outcasts, and I mean, it's a very welcoming community,
I got back, we all just decided to see what the locals were doing and see if we could find anything closer and keep going 2 weekly. So we went to Robotic Wednesdays. As I said, we were already involved in music and really going to parties and stuff like that, like concerts though. So it wasn't a huge change for me at the time. We just stopped looking at the stage and started looking at the room.
Obviously, it's peace, love, unity, and respect. I believe, starting from the peace standpoint of it, nobody wants to go into something with a violent attitude. No one wants to be aggressive. No one wants to have to put up with any kind of negativity. It brings everything down. It's not healthy. It's toxic, and a lot of people don't understand what it actually is. They'll talk about it, but they don't demonstrate it. I mean, it's pretty much putting aside all of your differences and accepting people for who they are. You're there to be with people. All social walls are torn down. All anxiety is just gone. I mean,
my opinion on PLUR, I live by it. These principles, since I've discovered them, they've become pretty much my mantra. The idea of peace, love, unity, and respect, those are pretty much the core values that any working society really needs. If I had to name just one thing that kept the rave culture together or what makes it up, It has to be PLUR.
Well, PLUR was an idea from the community. Peace, love, unity, and respect. It's an idea that really flourished through the positivity and in the community that the rave scene that's developed. And it's grown into a definite lifestyle that it's not something for everybody, but everyone can find their place in this culture. It's a collection of people from all backgrounds, higher class all the way down to lower class if you want to get technical with it. Everyone can get involved, and there are jobs in it. It's developed into a culture that I can really appreciate.
There's a generous feeling between everybody. Everyone passes along the feeling. Like, let's say, when you go and you get your first piece of candy, no one knows what it means. No one knows the trade-off signals, I mean, pretty much most people think it's a bracelet, but people don't understand that this community is a very endearing one. Our nicknames, candy pieces we get, I mean, you're giving someone a piece of yourself. If you look at a piece of candy and it has negativity attached to it, you have to find a way to recreate that into a positive one. It's all on your outlook of it. We all want this to be a welcoming community. We all want it to be opening, and like I said, there's not much more to it than it's endearing. I mean, you have to find the right people, but eventually when you do, you settle into a family and we take care of our own.
The culture has developed into something very unique. The community is very positive, at least most of the community is. It's really unique to walk into, certain places or just large massings where a majority of the entire crowd is just going to introduce themselves or shake your hand and try and get to know you. And then you always have certain groups that don't get along with other groups and people keep to themselves. It's just like everywhere else, but it maintains a very positive, just very positive vibe. That's the only word I can really think of for it. Mm-hmm. It's a pulse. Everyone kind of moves together and shows up for the same reasons, but never has the same experience.
The rave culture in Oklahoma is this idea that everyone is a family. No matter if you're new to raving or if you're an old hat at it, they welcome you with open arms. I heard some people were talking about this thing called candy, and I was like, what is candy? And from there, the conversation just grew and blossomed, and I have one of my best friends to date. Here in Florida, it almost seems what makes the rave culture or the rave scene here is seniority and drugs. As much as I hate that, I'm not going to lie, there are some drugs, especially in Oklahoma and Florida alike. But over here, I see everyone who's at a rave, they're on something. Or, again, I keep coming back to this elitist principle. Over here, it's follow the leader. There's no other option. You have to follow the leader, do what they say, and then you may get invited back to another rave. Or if you're lucky enough to find the underground scene. But if you're not such a lucky individual, or if you haven't been here so long, you're kind of SOL.
It's a good way to mix a lot of people from different backgrounds. People who wouldn't normally be around each other. People who just pass by and don't even know that each other exists. You've got hardworking business people. You've got club goers. You've got people who sit at home and play video games. You've got a bunch of different kind of people, and they come to this, and once again, I'll use the word blend because that's the best way to describe it, you know? For example, flux. Obviously, that is the best example that any of us know. You get people that come from different backgrounds, and they're there. They're just there to listen to the music, have a new experience, meet new people. They're there to understand what it means to let down your guard and, you know, go out and just have a mind-changing night. I mean, that's all I can really say about it, you know. It's not indescribable, but it's unique. You know, you'll close your eyes and you'll just hear your favorite song come on and you'll just lose it. You'll just move with the beat. You'll just pretty much go with the flow. I mean, and then you have people who spin flow art. You know, you've got hoopers. You've got people who spin poi, flow-ons, glovers. Some people think it's all about the pretty lights and the drugs and all of that. That's not really what it is. It's a lot of people use flow art for a way of meditation, for balance, exercise. It's different to everybody who does it. And with a community of that within itself as well. But, you know, you always have people who want to come up and, oh, teach me how to do that. You know, that's another way of bonding. You might know the person up there playing music, and all of a sudden your favorite song drops, and you grab like 4 people who are just standing there awkwardly on the wall, and you pull them out there and say, look like an idiot with me. You know? It's literally, it's different because everyone encourages you to be yourself. Be who you are, who you want to be. Even if you don't know who or what you are, you find yourself within that process. I mean, it's literally, it changes a lot of people's lives, and it's a good thing. I mean, it changes it for the better. A lot of people, it gets them out of their shell. It fixes a lot of depression. It's a way to escape. Again, I mean, there's not a lot more I can say. I mean, it's something you have to experience. You go in, there's going to be loud music, a lot of lights, and people you don't know with shiny, spinning light up things. But music is a universal way of finding yourself. It's a universal, well, it's just, that's what it is, you know? I mean, a lot of people connect through it. A lot of people find solace in it. I mean, dancing and letting go and just not worrying about your movements.
Well, the experience that I had in the Oklahoma community, it was almost 100% positive. Now, every group is going to have their share of drama and negativity, but honestly, looking back, I can only think of maybe at the very most 5 big drama things that happened, and they were all resolved fairly quickly. Nobody wanted the group to really fall apart, and nobody wanted anything to happen. Everybody was really, really helpful, really kind. It was just, it was awesome. That's the long and short of it. It was awesome. What I'm used to at a rave is seeing people do flow arts or shuffling, and or just talking to each other. Mm-hmm. Over here, it's people. I seem so disgusted when I say this, but it's people grinding on each other. The music isn't as well put together as some other people that I know.
I'm a glover to start. That was the first way I got into the flow arts, and it was a lot of fun. Worked on it in all my free time when I was riding in a car and just doing anything, and ended up getting really involved and started. I signed up with Amazing Lights and started helping them sell gear, which was a lot of fun. And then I brought my music into the scene, and
I've dabbled in a little bit of everything. I first learned how to glove, and it's very interesting. I felt like I wanted to expand my knowledge, so I went to try spinning poi. It's really fun. Getting a lot of the hand movements and the way everything works down was a little bit difficult for me at first. So I didn't have the patience in the beginning. And then I picked up hula hooping. Most people do that when they're about 6 or 7. You know, just go and play with a Walmart hoop. But then I saw these girls come in with the LED hoops, and I saw them move it in a way that was new and different, and they made it look like magic. So I was like, I want one. Teach me. Well, the first couple times I did it, I hit people. It was kind of scary. And you bruise yourself a lot in that, you know. But, I mean, it's like any other thing you do. It's similar to a sport. You keep practicing. It becomes an art. It becomes something you do. It becomes a part of you. And then even a couple of weeks ago, I picked up a flow wand. That's very different to me. Um, and the idea is to make it look like an illusion, not to see the string on your fingers, but you know, how to explain this? All flow art is similar in a way. The way that you have your techniques like 2-beat weaves, you've got handoffs, you've got intricate things that you learn, and you can do that with anything. You literally can do anything that you want to with flow art. You have to find your own rhythm, you have to find your own style of doing it, and everyone's completely different, and there are a bunch of different flow toys out there. And I mean, some people will try it and then they'll give up because they're nervous. But if you try it, you have to be patient and keep practicing at it. Anybody can do it. Everyone just has a different trade with it. A lot of people enjoy it more than others. Some people just aren't physical unless their butt's against the crutch. But. So, I mean, everyone is different. And even dancing is similar within itself. A lot of people have their own styles of dancing. Some do weird hand stuff. Some people jump around, and some people just they'll take fans, with long ribbons on them, and they'll just move them around. It's very graceful, and sometimes it's not. But in order to get there, you have to practice a bunch, and it's very calming. I recommend people at least give it a try once.
I do glove. I tried a poi. It's not exactly working out. Poi is basically the easiest description is put a glow stick on a string and swing it around. There's also this thing called an orbite, which is basically a cross with 4 LED lights. Think of it almost like a yo-yo. There's flow ones that I do as well, which are actually really, really cool. But those are the flow arts that I do, and some I do really well, others not so much. It definitely brings people closer together. Absolutely brings people closer together. In Oklahoma, more so, absolutely, because, like I said, everyone's included. Everyone is allowed. Nobody's turned away just because they're new or they don't know what they're getting into. Florida, it still brings people closer together, although it is a lot harder to find people here. But even so, they still have these close-knit and really tight groups that always seem really happy together.
You don't got to run into a crowd swinging just because your favorite band's playing. That really helped me get sucked into the PLUR experience and everything else, because it was exactly what I was looking for in a fan base and in a crowd. Just because out of all the people and all the friends you'll make out there, a lot of them really care, although a lot of them are fake too. But whenever you get everyone together, it's a much more positive experience, and I really enjoyed that and kind of needed that at the same time where I was at personally, because around that time it was just weird days.
Not just one thing makes up the totality of the rave culture. Drugs have become a new part of it, unfortunately, and as much as I'd like to get away from that, I think they're here to stay. But the dancing is a big part of it because people are able to showcase their skills and they're able to get better at what they love. The flow arts are another big part of it because these things are something that you wouldn't normally see, so it's a whole brand new, so it's a culture shock when you walk in. But ultimately what holds the whole rave group together and keeps it together are those 4 principles: peace, love, unity, respect. No matter where you go, you can expect at least a few people to have built a rave scene around those 4 principles.
Yeah, a lot of people associate raving with negative stuff, and that's not what it's about. It's about the people, the love, and the adventure of it. You never know what's going to happen. Each time is never the same. You'll always meet different people. You'll always have stupid memories to tell people. I mean, it's really just about the experience, and if they're willing to try it, then I tell them to go for it. And if not, they can take their time. It's not going anywhere.